What's up, everybody? D. Illy here. So we're going to run through this schedule real quick. We're going to do a record prediction video. Been talking about this one for a while. I'm finally going to put it out there for you guys. I'm not necessarily going to talk about any of the New York Giants players. I'm going to talk about the players that we're going up against and how we match up against these teams. So for starters, well, I wanted to say this first. I have said that I think the secondary is going to be a major issue for this team. The trend that is going in the NFL right now is that these teams have a tendency to bring these big body wide receivers and move them inside to play the slot. And as you know, we have a guy like Cordell Flott. We have Darnay Holmes. They're smaller corners. And I believe that's what a lot of teams are going to do against us. They're going to play these bigger wide receivers inside. You see a lot of teams doing that, moving to that style of football with their offense. And I think in the first game of the season, you could possibly see that against the Tennessee Titans. They may move a guy like Treylon Burks. Yes, he is a rookie, but he is a big-bodied wide receiver, similar to an A.J. Brown. Does he have the skill set of an A.J. Brown? That's yet to be determined. We don't know that yet, but we'll find out. Now, obviously, we have to stop a guy like Derrick Henry. That's no easy task within itself. Hopefully, this defensive line can step up. You know, we do have some pass rushers that can get to the quarterback, but how will they do against the run? That is the question. Will we win this game? For much of the offseason, I have had us winning this game. I believed that Tennessee really didn't have very much firepower on offense. You know, they have a guy like Robert Woods coming off an injury. They have Treylon Burks, who's a rookie. They have Kyle Phillips, who has had a lot of hype behind him as a rookie. People saying he's going to be a really good slot wide receiver. He's built similar to a guy like Cooper Kupp, maybe a guy like Braxton Berrios. They both fall into the, he kind of falls into those two wide receivers. Does he have the skill set of either one of those guys? He's probably more towards a Berrios, of course, not a Cooper Kupp. But I don't know if we're going to win this game. And there's going to be a lot of games on this list where I'm just very indecisive, and I can't tell you exactly if we're going to win them or not. But I'm going to stick with my initial thought in the offseason. I'm going to give us a win in this game against the Tennessee Titans. I think we're going to find a way to come out and stop Derrick Henry, who is also coming off an injury himself. And I think we're going to figure out a way to get a win against the Tennessee Titans and start off the season 1-0. So we'll mark that as a win in the win column. All right? So we'll move on to game number 2 against the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield and company. DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall going into his second year. Christian McCaffrey coming back from injury. Good, solid running back, arguably one of the best running backs in the league. Can he stay healthy this year? Who knows? Who else is on that team that they have at wide receiver? Robbie Anderson. I'm not sure if he's still on that team or not. We face Denzel Mims today. A lot of people have talked about Denzel Mims possibly being a trade candidate for the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers trying to acquire him, so maybe we'll see him in week number 2 for the Carolina Panthers. Not that I'm necessarily worried about that. I'm more worried about DJ Moore than anybody else. And that good, solid Carolina Panthers defense, they could still be halfway decent. They were the first part of the year last year, kind of tailed off towards the end. But on that game, believe it or not, I think the Giants come out and get the win against them also. Bet you didn't expect me to say this team was going to start off 2-0. But I do believe we could possibly start off 2-0. So, we got 2 wins in the win column. Weaker opponents, in my mind, even though Tennessee was and has been the past 2 seasons a playoff team, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so game number 3, I believe, is against the Dallas Cowboys. This is where I can start to go downhill a little bit. All right, what's going on here? The schedule just left the screen. So we played Dallas. Dak and company, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, what's his name? Jalen Ferguson, the rookie wide receiver. They're missing a lot of pieces on that team. Defensively, I don't know exactly what to think about the Cowboys. I still think defensively, I think they're still going to be a pretty good team. I think offensively, I think Dak's going to be able to get the job done for them. And I still think Dallas is going to be a tough team to beat. And I think going into week number 3, I think that's going to be our first loss of the season against the Dallas Cowboys. I just don't see us pulling that game off. We might. I don't know. But like I said, there's a lot of games on this schedule that I'm very indecisive on, and I just don't know exactly which way they're going to go. You know, if we have guys like Kadarius Toney that come out and stay healthy and they're productive for this team, and Kenny Golladay somehow becomes somehow turns back the clock and is the wide receiver that he was in Detroit, then, these games may be more winnable for us. And, I may have a better feeling going into these games if these offensive weapons for us stay healthy and they go out there and produce on the field. And as long as our defense holds up, especially in that secondary, going up against guys like CeeDee Lamb, and stopping guys coming out of the backfield like Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. A lot of people seem to think Ezekiel Elliott is washed up. I think Zeke's probably still got some miles left in those legs, and I think he can still get the job done coming out of the backfield, as long as that offensive line blocks for him. Obviously, they just lost their left tackle, one of the best tackles in the game. And that's going to be a big loss for the Cowboys. So, that could sway that game in our direction if we can get things, if we can play well on offense. But I think that's going to be our first loss of the season right there against the Dallas Cowboys. Our first loss of the season, our first divisional game. So we would be 0-1 in the division. All right, so week number 4, we go up against the Chicago Bears. It doesn't tell me if these are home games or away games. I'm assuming, yeah, that's a home game that we just played against Dallas. All right, so we go up against the Bears at home. Another game I think we should win. I'm not necessarily scared of anything that the Bears have. Quarterback-wise, I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now. What's his damn name? I'm blanking right now. Going into his second year, the guy reminds me of a young Russell Wilson. Honestly, that's exactly who he reminds me of. Stature-wise, throwing mechanics, that I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. It's just completely escaping my mind. But offensively, outside of, Darnell Mooney and maybe Cole Kmet, David Montgomery, I'm not really concerned about. Khalil Herbert, the backup running back, I think he's going to win that job out there in Chicago. And I think he's the back that we're going to go up against. But everything else on that team, man, outside of really those 3 options, they don't have much. And I think we have more offensively. Defensively, Chicago has definitely struggled over the past couple seasons. They don't have the defense that they used to. I think our defense can go out there and shut down, that offense as a whole. And I think our offense can go out there and do enough for us to get the win in that ball game. So that would be our third win of the season right there. So we'll start off the season 3-1. That's another W for us. Then we go up against the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers and company. Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard as his number 1. Dobbs, or Dubs, whatever you want to call him, has shown promise out there in the preseason. And in training camp, he's been making plays. You've heard Aaron Rodgers criticizing his wide receivers at numerous points of the beginning of the offseason and in training camp. So, Allen Lazard is really his only reliable option outside of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon coming out of the backfield as far as pass catchers go. They don't really have that many offensive options. Robert Tonyan, their tight end, is hurt, and I don't know exactly when he's going to be coming back. I'm pretty sure he's starting the season on PUP, on the PUP list, so he's not going to be available most likely when we play them in game number 5. But, that's still going to be a tough game for us. Just going up against Aaron Rodgers, A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, that's a very tough 1-2 combo right there. Arguably, you could say that may be the best combo of running backs in the NFL, next to maybe, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. So that game there, I've got a loss for us. It's the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback. I just think it's going to be a tough game for us to win. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Green Bay really doesn't have much on the offensive side of the ball. They're going to have to rely on their defense and running game most of the season. And Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there and make the throws when he needs to. You know that, at least during the regular season. He doesn't necessarily do it in the playoffs, but regular season-wise, Aaron Rodgers is damn near automatic. All right, so then we go up against schedule dropped. Who do we go up against? After the Packers, we play the Baltimore Ravens. That's a tough stretch of 2 games right there. Lamar Jackson, Rashard, what's his name? Rashard Bateman. Yeah, Rashard Bateman, second-year wide receiver. They expect a lot of big things out of him. Mark Andrews, what is this? Game number 6. I would assume at this point Dobbins would be back, so he would probably be the starter. I think Mike Davis is probably going to start the season off for them. What's the backup running back for them that has been the guy? He's out with an injury right now. I think he's starting on PUP himself. So they're going to be starting the season with Mike Davis, and they've got another rookie running back that will probably be backing him up. I can't really think of his name right now. But, it's the Ravens. It's going to be a tough defense, even though they don't have their defensive coordinator anymore. Obviously, he's the defensive coordinator for us. But it's still going to be a tough game regardless going up against Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to feed the ball to Mark Andrews. We all know that's going to happen. And if J.K. Dobbins is available at that point in time and he comes back and he's fully healed from that ACL injury or PCL injury or MCL, I'm not sure exactly which one it was that he had. I think he had multiple injuries to his knee. So it's going to be a tough one for him to come back from. But, that's going to be another loss for us. And I put a loss in the loss column for that game. I think it's a tough 2-game stretch there to go back-to-back against the Packers and Ravens. So I'm going to put a loss in the loss column there. So right now we are 3-2 at that point. And then we go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence and company, Christian Kirk. Who else do they have on that team? Christian Kirk, obviously Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne coming off an injury himself. Christian Kirk has looked pretty good. Marvin Jones is still there. There's another wide receiver that they signed. They signed Zay Jones also. So, but they didn't add any pieces to that offensive line. So the offensive line is still going to continue to struggle. But you would think going into his second year, a guy like Trevor Lawrence, his game should definitely improve. He should be getting the ball out of his hand a hell of a lot faster. And I think you're going to start to see Trevor Lawrence start to live up to what everybody claimed he was going to be coming out of college, out of Clemson. So, regardless of all that, I think that's a team we can beat. I believe that's going to be a win for us. So I'll put another win in the win column for that game. So that'll put us at 4-2 at that point. 4-2. That's a pretty good way to start the season right there. I wouldn't be hating on that. I could live with that as a Giants fan after what we've had to deal with for nearly the past 10 years. I would have no issue with that. Then we go up against the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, this is kind of a weak schedule for the most part. It definitely is. Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith is going to be the starter for that team unless they pull off some kind of trade to get Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't see the San Francisco 49ers trading Jimmy Garoppolo within their division, so I don't think that's going to happen. The only way Jimmy G goes to Seattle is if the 49ers end up cutting him. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that situation, but Jimmy G there with DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, that would be much better than what they have right now with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. So that is an away game for us in Seattle. Seattle's always a tough place to play, but talent-wise, offensively, and defensively, I believe this is a team we should beat also. I think we should beat the Seahawks. So I'll put another win in the win column there. I just think those quarterbacks are really going to struggle, and, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are not going to be as productive as they've been in previous seasons with Russell Wilson as their quarterback, obviously. So then we go up against the Houston Texans. Davis Mills, Nico Collins, Brandy Cooks. That new rookie running back that they have, what's his name? Pierce. I forgot his first name. He's already basically slated to be the starter there. I think he's averaging like 5 or 6 yards a carry at this point through the preseason. So there's a lot of hype behind him. Davis Mills, a lot of people don't know exactly what to expect out of him going into his second year. A lot of people expect Nico Collins to take a big step coming out of Michigan in his second year. Brandy Cooks is going to do what Brandy Cooks does, one of the most underrated wide receivers in this league. So he's going to be tough to stop. Secondary is definitely going to have their hands full with that little guy. I mean, he is not big in stature at all, but he definitely produces out there in a football field no matter what team he is playing for. I'm surprised he has bounced around as much as he has because he is a good, solid football player. What's his name? Michi's out for the season. Obviously has some health issues, and I wish him the best personally in his recovery from all that stuff. The schedule dropped again. But this is the Houston Texans, man. This is a team that I believe we should beat. As long as we shut down that running game, stop a guy like Davis Mills, I think it's a team we can beat. So I'll put another win in the win column. As long as Daniel Jones stays healthy and Daniel Jones goes out there and does the things that he needs to do, he protects the football, eliminates the fumbles like he did last year, and he keeps the INTs down, which he did last year also. He just has to go out there. Hopefully he gets the protection that he needs to go out there and make the throws. And we don't have any bad play out of Daniel Jones like we've seen over the past 2 seasons. And then he really gets, Dable's system under his belt, and he just starts to grow and grow and grow as the season progresses. That's all I'm hoping for from him. I know I've had some negative things to say about Daniel Jones. I'm not even going to get into all that. This is a scheduled prediction video. This is a record prediction video. And I'm going to leave all that stuff on the back burner, going to put it to rest, and we're going to see how the season plays out. Because enough of the talking, it's time to see what these players do out there on the field. So against the Houston Texans, I believe we're going to pull off a win in that one also. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have us at 7-2 at this point. 7-2. How the hell do I have us at 7-2? The schedule is not much. It is not much. Wow. Now, obviously, some of these games that I have as wins, they could probably go anyway. But to start the season, I definitely have us losing against the Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens. There's no doubt in my mind about those 2 games. I just think, the running game in both those games is going to be too much for us to handle. And I don't think we have the horses up front when it comes to stopping the run to really control those 2 offenses. Now, we can probably get to the quarterback based on who we have now as pass rushers with Azeez Ojulari, Leonard Williams, and, of course, Kayvon Thibodeau, as long as he comes back fully healthy from the injury that he has right now. But stopping the running game itself is, it's yet to be determined as far as how well we're going to play against the run. So it's just something we're going to have to see as the season goes on. But 7-2 right now. I did not think we were gonna be at this record at this point. Based on my prediction, based on just how I felt the season was gonna go. I really haven't even taken the time to even look at the schedule yet. I've heard that it was pretty weak for the most part, and I really haven't sat down to even look at it yet. But right now I have us at 7-2. So we go on and play the Detroit Lions. Now this is a team that I have mixed feelings about. I'm sure other people just look at them like they're the Detroit Lions and they think they're going to be nothing, but I don't view them that way. We've seen Jared Goff produce with good, solid wide receiver options. We saw him produce with the Rams. I got to take a drink real quick. And now he's got guys like DJ Chark. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who really played well as a rookie last year. They also have Jamison Williams, who they drafted out of Alabama. That guy is he's going to be a monster in the NFL, man. He's a speedster. He can run all the routes. I mean, he's a guy that the secondary, I think, is really going to have their hands full with. And, of course, you have Deandre Swift coming out of the backfield. They signed Justin Jackson also, who I believe could end up being their number 2 back. And I think he could end up, spelling Deandre Swift at times during the regular season. And he's been productive, man. Justin Jackson has been a good player out there, playing for the Chargers. I'm surprised they let him go. Obviously, they drafted Spiller in the second round this past year, and he's a guy that's kind of similar to Austin Eckler. I mean, I don't think he has the speed that Eckler has, but I mean, they seem to think he can fill the same role that Austin Eckler does. Me personally, I would have just kept Justin Jackson as productive as he's been. They also have Joshua Kelly out there, so I don't know. But the Lions, man, T.J. Hawkinson at tight end, they've got a lot of weapons on that offense. It's going to be tough for the secondary to stop. And I think Goff is going to be able to come out there and make the throws against us. And I think the Detroit Lions are really going to surprise some people. Dude, I'm telling you right now, if the Detroit Lions, they might have a shot to go toe-to-toe with the Green Bay Packers this year. I know it's a crazy thing to say, but based on where the Packers are right now offensively and them not really having the wide receiver options, especially after losing, Devontae Adams, Detroit, if their defense steps up, I think Jared Goff can do enough for that offense to make them a pretty solid football team, especially with the options that they have on offense. I think they could be a good, solid football team, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. I would not sleep on the Detroit Lions, not at all. And like I said, I would not be surprised if they're going toe-to-toe with the Green Bay Packers for that division. I would not be surprised one bit. Believe it or not. That one, I'm going to put it down as a loss. I do think Detroit is going to beat us. I think Detroit's going to beat us. So we're going to put a loss in the loss column on that one. So that puts us at 7-3. And towards the second half of the season, this is when it kind of starts to go downhill for me, based off, what I've seen of this schedule so far. And we go up against the Cowboys. And this one is in Dallas. Go up against the Cowboys a second time. I've got us beating Dallas at least one time this year. Dallas, I think, will beat twice. No, Dallas, I think, will beat once. It's Philly. I think Philly's going to sweep us. I think Philly's definitely going to sweep us. So we go up against the Cowboys. I had us losing against the Cowboys the first time. In Dallas, I'm going to have us winning that game. I'm going to give us a win for that game. I mean, we may get swept by the Cowboys, but who knows? All depends on, when Michael Gallup comes back for that team and how well, Ferguson does for them, that first-year wide receiver that they drafted. We'll see what happens with that one. I'm going to give us a win on that in that game. So that'll put us at 8-3. We will go up against the Washington Commanders in New York, December 4th. And it's Washington. It's Washington. Yes, they added, what's his name, Doxson from Penn State. They gave him a second wide receiver to really throw the ball to outside of Terry McLaurin. But I still don't think it's going to be enough. I'm not a big Carson Wentz guy. I never will be. If they got rid of him in Indy, Frank Wright was the only guy that was really, sticking his neck out on the line for him. And he basically lost all faith in the guy himself. Lost all faith in Wentz. So if he lost faith in a man, I don't know. He may have a short leash out there in Washington. And if they went back to Taylor Heineke at one point, I definitely wouldn't be surprised because I don't think there's much of a difference between the two. That just tells you how much respect I have for Carson Wentz himself. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. I don't care what kind of numbers he put up out there in Indy last year. He did have a great offensive line. He's not going to get that kind of protection in Washington. That's not going to happen. So against the Commanders, I believe we're going to win that game right there. So we'll put another win in the win column on that one. That'll put us at what? 8-3 at that point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll put us at 9-3. I must be out of my damn mind. There ain't no way in hell. So we go up against the Vikings in the next game. Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Herb Smith Jr., Dalvin Cook coming out of the backfield. Nope. I don't like our chances in that one. I think Justin Jefferson's going to cook this secondary. Ain't no doubt in my mind about that. I don't need to say anything else. Dalvin Cook will probably have over 100 yards himself. Loss. All right, so we go up against the Colts. Matt Ryan, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, arguably the best running back in the NFL coming out of the backfield. These are not all the games. I missed a bunch of games. What did I miss? What did I miss? Hold up. This schedule's all messed up. I don't even know. Preseason. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm messed up here on this. On the schedule that I actually pulled up. I don't think they have all the games actually listed on here. So, we go up against the Colts in New York. Matt Ryan playing on that team. Matt Ryan, a good veteran quarterback that I highly respect. Matt Ryan has had some poor offensive lines out there in Atlanta the past couple of years, and he has actually still put up numbers playing behind those offensive lines and, subpar talent at the wide receiver position. Of course, he had Kyle Pitts last year, but other than that, outside of Russell Gage, he didn't have much to throw the ball to, at all on the offensive side of the ball, outside of those two options. But it's still the Colts, man. Colts are a good team. Colts have a good defense. I think having that veteran leadership with Matt Ryan is just going to make them that much better. I do believe the Colts are, obviously they're going to be a contender in the AFC. I don't think they have enough firepower on the offensive side of the ball to play with teams like Denver, obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. They might be able to play with Kansas City. And, Buffalo. Buffalo, I think, is the cream of the crop out there in the AFC. I don't think anybody's really going to touch them. And then, so I'm going to give us a loss in that game. I just think the Colts are a lot better team than us. So that puts us at 9-4 at that point. And then we go up against Philly. Did I skip Philly? Yeah, I think I skipped the first Philly game. That's what I did. I messed up. Yeah, I skipped the Philly game. Yeah, because the way the schedule is laid out, man, it's weird. It doesn't just go straight down. It's they 2, and it's all out of line. It's just weird the way it's laid out. So I missed one of the other Washington games, and I missed the other Philly game. And like I said, I have Philly sweeping us this year. I think Philly's defense has just improved too much. I think Jalen Hurts is really going to step up in his second year. The addition of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, I believe, is going to be an absolute monster in this league. I mean, I don't think too many people can actually cover him in this league. That guy can run every damn route, and if you watched him last year, he was constantly open, and Jalen Hurts missed him God only knows how many times. So I'm expecting a big season out of Devontae Smith, especially having A.J. Brown to take a lot of that coverage off of him. And I think he's going to be a diddly weapon for that Philadelphia offense. So I think Philly's going to sweep us. So I'm going to put another loss in the loss column for us. So right now I have us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 losses. So that's 15 games right there. We played 17, so I'm missing 2. 9-6 right now, and I missed the other Washington game. So I'd like to say we're going to sweep Washington. Screw it. I'm going to say we're going to sweep Washington. Just because I'm a Giants fan, of course, I'm going to say we sweep Washington. My buddies that are Washington fans, they're not going to like that very much. But screw it. We're going to sweep the freaking Commanders. So I'm going to give us a win in that one. Give us a win in that one. That's going to put us at 11-6 right now, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got everything all screwed up. 10 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're 10-6. 10-6 at this point. And I must have missed one other game, I think. Or is that it? That might be it. All right. So I'm going to have us at 10-6 on the year. 10-6, based on what I see at the schedule right now. There's not very many tough teams on that schedule. But like I said at the same time, a lot of these games can be swayed in any direction, man. I mean, it's just this team is so unpredictable on offense. We have so many guys that can just not stay on the field, and that's the big issue with this team. The secondary is such, there's so many question marks in the secondary. We don't know exactly what we're going to get. We think we're going to have a good solid pass rush. I do believe we will. But like I've said in other videos, I do believe these quarterbacks are going to get the ball out of their hand very quickly. And, they're going to run these short routes, and our corners are going to have to hold up. And I just think the overall talent that we're going to face is going to be the downfall of the secondary. I just think the guys that we're going to face against, the wide receivers that we're going to face on these other offenses, a lot of the times they're just going to overpower the cornerbacks that we actually have in our secondary. And I just don't think they're going to be able to play with them. But that goes only for the teams that I think we're going to lose to. I mean, the other teams that we're going to actually beat, I think our corners can actually match up against those guys fairly decent, enough for us to actually go out there and score enough points to beat the other team. So I don't know. I mean, that's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. I'd take a 10-6 record. I don't necessarily know if it's going to happen, but based off looking at the schedule first glance. And like I said, I really haven't taken the time to even really look at the schedule and digest it. I've just gone off hearsay, off what other people have said about the schedule, and I knew it was fairly weak from the start. But actually going through it, I mean, it is pretty damn weak. And I'm not even going to lie. But that's it for the video, you guys. I know it's a long one. Good Lord. I hope this video is not 29 minutes long, but it is. That's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good things. Comment below. Tell me what you think. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a good, solid season for this football team. Hopefully, we can get back some of the players that already have injuries on this football team. And, we can just look forward to good, solid New York Giants football and try to build off of what, we think we have going at this point in time and try to get away from all the losing that we've had over the past 10 years, in regards to this football team. We got to get ourselves out of this hole, man. One way or another, we have to. I mean, we got to end this losing, man. We really have to end this losing. I mean, I can't take it. I cannot take it. I need to see this team succeed. I need to see this team succeed. I mean, it kills me, man. Kills me deep down inside to watch this team go out there and get their ass whooped week in and week out. I just can't take it, man. Cannot take it. I love football. I love football. Like I said, I didn't play football growing up. I probably could have played because I played baseball. And I mean, the 1 year that I did play, I was a quarterback. I had a pretty damn good arm on me. But I've just always loved watching the game of football. I've been around football a lot, just during my time growing up. If you watch my video as far as, how I became a Giants fan, you'll understand where I'm coming from when it comes to that. But I always loved the game. I always loved the game. I love this team. It's my favorite franchise of all, in all of sports. Obviously, you can tell based on, my basement. It's just covered in Giant stuff. But I really need this team to start winning again. I need it. I need it desperately. I know all you people out there definitely need it too. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope for the best. And that's pretty much it. Go Giants. Let's try to make this 10-6 record happen. Even though I still have my doubts about that, regardless of what I just stated right here on this video. But we'll see what happens. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Take care. Have yourself a good night, and I'll talk to you in the next one. All right, that's it. Bye.